Hello, respected viewers. It's George from Ireland. So, welcome back to the channel. Well, big news. Now, I had heard a rumor from the chairman of a Conservative association earlier today. The election is going to be called today. He wouldn't reveal his source. Even he wasn't certain about this. I thought it wasn't going to happen till at least the 25th of October, as in the day Sunak became prime minister. They would have lasted at least 2 years. For a man of such raging vanity, that would matter. So the election's been called, been rumours for a few hours. They refused to deny that they were going to go early. These things always leak out in the Westminster Village. And so doomsday for the Tory party is the 4th of July this year. And no doubt Sunak will be sentenced to resignation at dawn on the 5th. The polls will close about 10 p.m. that Thursday night. The results filtering through Sunderland South, as it has usually breaks the record by declaring first, counting very, very fast as a matter of honour for the Mackhams. And the results will filter through the urban seats first, the rural ones longer because they got more polling stations, longer distance to bring all the ballot boxes together. Um, and obviously, by the time dawn breaks on Friday, it'll be clear there's a Labour landslide. Sunak will presumably tender his resignation as Prime Minister, immediately drive to the palace, and his last act as Prime Minister will be to advise His Britannic Majesty Charles III to send for Sir Keir Starmer. Sir Keir Starmer will then be phoned. Remember, for scintilla temporis, there will be no Prime Minister. And then, yes, so Sir Keir will be asked, can he form a government? And yes, he can, because he'll have a healthy majority in the House of Commons, and then he will kiss hands, which is brush them with his lips. There's not something that's actually signed, but that'll be it. So Labour government. Anyway, Sunak, it's proof that he didn't believe the Rwanda plan was going to come off, because he guaranteed us the first plane was going to take off full of deportees in July. And that was meant to boost the Conservative fortunes. Because remember, his reset in January 2023 was promising to stop the boats, which he hasn't done. He has at least stampeded some of the asylum claimants out of the United Kingdom and into the Republic of Ireland. Obviously, we in the Republic don't know what to do about it. So that could have started to pay dividends. Another cut to national insurance, the economy picking up, although the economy is not growing as fast as thought. Inflation is only down to 3%, wait to the end of this year down to 2%. So I thought they're going to wait till October, November. The other thing is a winter election will depress turnout, which would hit Labour, but this won't. It'll be sort of the height of summer, but not yet school holidays. If you didn't school holidays, a lot of school-age parents would be abroad. But remember, the last election, the age where you became more likely to vote Conservative than Labour was 47. This election will be more like 57 because the Conservatives are going to do so badly. So the older you are, the more likely you are to vote Tory. People over the age of 80, about 80, only about 20% that voted Labour, over 60% that voted Conservative, and so on. And turnout's higher. But obviously, the older age cohorts, there are fewer and fewer people. There are far fewer octogenarians. There are people in their 20s. Now, yes, you can apply for a postal vote, which could counteract the effect of people not going because the weather's bad or they're on holiday. But you've got to remember to apply for a postal vote, and you can post up that you can vote up to 2 weeks in advance. Anyone can get a postal vote for any reason whatsoever without having to state a reason since 2001 when they amended the law. So anyway, the visuals seemed ominous as the heavens opened on Rishi Sunak as he was making his announcement from outside the steps of 10 Downing Street. So that was really not well stage managed. It wouldn't take a genius to say, well, let's look at the meteorological forecast. Okay, we can delay by an hour or two until it's going to at least stop raining. But that was bucketing down on him. He looked like the drowned rat he is. His ineptitude was on display because I met people who knew him through banking and said he really failed upwards. He's so overrated, but I think he can't be that dreadful. I know he got a double first from Oxford. He was head boy of a school, Winchester College, a self-made multi-millionaire by the age of 30. There's more bad news. It was good news for him, as in he and his wife, their collective fortune's gone up by several million quid just in the last few months, which turns people against them. Oh, they're so out of touch just because he's highly successful. I think he can't be that much of a nincompoop. But the fact he's head boy, a bit like Jeremy Hunt, what does that tell us? That he's saponaceous, he's an arse crawler, he's a chiseler, he's a cowardly conformist. Him in that skinny suit and skinny tie. I mean, it's such a spiv. He's just nauseating. So he'll go down in history as a singularly unsuccessful, prime minister. But it won't be a mere footnote because it could be the first non-white prime minister, the first non-Christian prime minister. So enter Sir Keir Starmer. I mean, the NHS waiting lists have not come down. OK, he's restored the economy to health. That's it. There was some debate amongst the Conservative Party. Go now before it gets even worse. That no, things will not turn up to help them, and there's not going to be scandals in Labour. This whole Angela Rayner thing. The police charge her, blah blah blah. That trial will go on over the summer. She might be found guilty if she went politics, but that wouldn't dent Labour very much. If she's exonerated, that'd be a bit of a fillip to them. What else? So going early, is it partly before you Reform UK has more time to mobilise, haven't got that much candidates in place? But there's an idea that the Conservative Party's got only one way to go, it's only going to go down. And the longer they leave, the even worse it's going to get. So bang out of politics. So the question is how big Labour's majority is going to be. I'm saying they'll get about 400 seats. So they do not quite as well as in 2000, as in 1997. Conservative Party slightly worse, down to maybe 155. The SNP not that badly. I mean, I think they're going to get about 30 seats, and Labour get about 25 in Scotland. The Conservatives probably wiped out Scotland, might get 1 or 2 seats, and the Liberal Democrats about 4 in Scotland. Plaid Cymru up to maybe 6. They're doing better in rural North Wales, taking some Tory constituencies. Reform UK probably not get a single one. The Greens, I think they'll only get 1. I don't think they'll get what's the Thangam Debonair's one. This reconstituted seat in Bristol. They've reconfigured the constituency boundaries there. Yeah, and that's about it. So the Liberal Democrats, they'll get 30 seats, maybe more. So they maybe won't do quite as well as in 97. We shall see, because 97 they got 16% of the vote. They're not on that. So the real wildcard factor affecting the Tories is just how well Reform UK is going to do. As I say, they probably won't claim a single constituency, but we're able to deny the Conservative Unionist Party quite a few. Unlike the Brexit Party, from which they grew out of, well, that under another guise, is they're not willing to withdraw candidates where they're hardline Eurosceptic Conservative MPs. Although Starmer's uncharismatic, steady as she goes, probably going to win. So it's really about damage limitation in the Conservative Unionist Party. No, they're going to be smashed, but just how badly? Some sort of parties to survive. I think the Conservative Party is going to be out of office for 20 years. And they will lose this election and 3 more afterwards. I remember in 97, with uncanny accuracy, I said the Conservative Party would be out of office till 2009. I was out by a year. Not bad for a 17-year-old at the time. So we'll see how my political perspicacity goes. Now, I might change my election forecast depending how the prognosis looks through this campaign. So Labour's good. They've already got their 6 pledges worked out. They're building all the green belts. Now the Tories are going to go with that one. You're going to build over the green belt. You're going to drive down the house prices, and so the property classes, mostly Conservative voting, middle-aged people who are unhappy about the NHS. Nevertheless, they don't want their house prices ruined, and so they might be a little bit more likely to vote Conservative because of that. So this is happening, as I say, a bit sooner than I thought. I think it's the wrong decision. I would have waited to maybe November. We shall see. The Conservatives would have lost in November, but I think they're going to lose by even more now. Right. So some people say, some Tories say, just let's get it over with. And maybe Sunak's had enough. Nothing he does seems to have any positive effect on his poll ratings, and he's just sick of it. And then he's going to stand at this election, be an MP, but he could leave that. He could just never show up to Parliament next time, bow out of it, do something less stressful, more fun. That's it. So Starmer's going to be Prime Minister. I think he'll serve 1 term, then stand down. Who'll take over after him as another Labour Prime Minister? Maybe David Lammy. I don't think Angela Rayner. I think even they think she's too much of a dimwit. Possibly Annalise Dodd, someone I knew, someone I hold in high regard. Please, God preserve us from Jess Phillips. But they're going to be an absolute shower. This dreadful Labour lot. They're going to be even more viciously PC because they can't do anything economically. So to have Jess Phillips in charge of domestic violence, I mean, it's a sick joke. Someone who's got a record of domestic violence herself, a child murderer in charge of domestic violence. So it's all going to be terrible, and they're going to be ramming all this woke stuff down our throats. That's it. Even more totalitarian than the Tory party is all very dispiriting. And anything else to say? Yeah, so the red wall seats virtually all go back to Labour. The Conservatives probably take some Conservative strongholds, even in rural southeastern England. So next Conservative leader, probably Penny Mordaunt, if she doesn't lose a seat, but her one is more vulnerable than the others. Kemi Badenoch, in Saffron Walden, one of the safest Conservative divisions in the country. R.A. Butler used to have it, Rab Butler, that years ago. But or she'd be leader. She's the one I actually really want to be leader. I don't think it'd be Priti Patel with them, although she's got a very safe seat. God spare us from Suella Braverman, but she's got an ultra safe seat in Fareham, rural Hampshire. I don't think it'll be her. But it's really between those four ladies. Tom Tugendhat may well lose his seat to Pale Male, Stale, and Moderate. And then Nadeem Zahawi standing down from Parliament. Jeremy Hunt is yesterday's man. Again, he will probably lose his seat. And that's it. All the leadership contenders are gone. Liz Truss hanging on to a seat. Right. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe on Patreon, donate on PayPal. Goodbye.